This is SAF Mo, your prison lawyer. This is SAF Mo, your prison lawyer. This is SAF Mo, your prison lawyer. I want to welcome you to the real pit. I got a banger for y'all, a real banger. The statement is, pro sports is too vanilla because it refuses, the league refuses to hire goons and ghoul goblins. Say that again. Pro sports is vanilla, too vanilla, because it refuses, the league refuses to hire goons and ghoul goblins. Now for y'all individuals who want to stick around and want to know the answer, how SAF Mo feels right off the bat, my answer is yes. The NFL is too vanilla because it refuses to hire goons and ghoul goblins. Basically, I'm saying they refuse to hire convicted felons, right? They don't want anybody associated with convicted felons. So as I continue, and for those who don't want to stick and stay and they want to just click off, I want to thank you for the view and let me continue with this topic, the substance matter of it right now. So how did this come about? Where did I get there? There was a conversation on pro football talk, and Bart Scott supposedly made a bold statement on players and felonies. And the player and felonies that they specifically talked about was Devontae Wyatt. Now, if you're not familiar with Devontae Wyatt, let me bring you up to speed to who he is. You go ahead and say it now.
You in the grill pit, bitch.
One time, like this. For those who hop and make your one nigga straight loony after taking
Man who was accepted as a god in Europe long before the birth of Christ, accepted quite a few Africans as deities. Imhotep, this great African who was the world's first multi-genius.
This is SAF Mo, your prison lawyer. I want to welcome you to the Grill Pit. Thank you, doctor, for that introduction. I couldn't have said it any better myself. Devontae Wyatt's criminal history.
Kirby Smart says he's disappointed in senior defensive lineman Devontae Wyatt following his arrest on Tuesday. Wyatt faces charges of criminal trespass, damage to property, and family violence, all of them misdemeanors. UGA police say Wyatt got into an argument at McWhorter Hall with a woman whom he's lived with on and off. Officers say Wyatt kicked the woman's door multiple times from the hallway, damaging the door and forcing the door open.
Devontae Wyatt's story, that triggered this interview, but also the comment by Bart Scott, NFL player. He made this bold statement about individuals who have criminal histories and being in the NFL. Now, SAF Mo is going on a record right now saying that I truly believe that individuals should be in the NFL who have criminal records, and I'm going to qualify that statement. But I want to also say that I could assemble a team right now of convicted felons, and I guarantee you they will beat any professional football team you put together right now. Just give me a team. As a matter of fact, give me a league of individuals who are convicted felons, and I guarantee you they're going to outperform them. They're going to come on, man. So that's what I'm going on record saying right now, you know. But let's just check out this video and these Caucasians talking about this gentleman's run-in with the law and what they feel. And let's hear Bart Scott weigh in and see how he feels, and see if you feel like I feel like he feels. Let's do this.
Georgia, despite some off-field issues. Bart Scott, formerly of the New York Jets, the Baltimore Ravens. He was one of the guys elbow to elbow with Phil Simms on CBS's NFL Today. Here he is on ESPN Radio talking about the red flags that Devontae Wyatt brings to the Green Bay Packers.
They need to get tough up the middle, and I know Wyatt may have some type of off the field issues, but you have to be able to get some tough guys, and everybody can't be choir boys. You know, when I was with the Ravens, we had to make sure that we had at least 2 people on the team with a couple felonies just to make sure our street cred was right when we had to go into these back alleys and have some of these dog fights. Sometimes you got to have some people that's not no choir boys. That's why you have a strong locker room to hold them in check.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be careful with the felonies.
I said, listen, the funniest sign I've ever seen in my life was 52 plus 31 equals 10 to 20. It was Ray Lewis plus Jamal Lewis equals 10 to 20.
Now, hold on. Did you hear how the white female tried to be careful with that? You got to be careful with that. You know what I'm saying? Because she don't want him talking about the NFL needing felons. But you also hear him continue the conversation saying, I ain't gonna. He doubled down on it, right? He keep it going, right? Let's finish. Let's go back.
Prison. So listen, you gotta have some guys with Terrell Suggs be the dude with a stop. Terrell Suggs be the dude with a stop sign coming out of Arizona State. You know what I mean? You gotta have a couple guys like that. We can clean them up. We can get them counseling, but you gotta have a couple goons, and you definitely gotta have some goo goblins.
That's what I'm talking about. Some goons and some goo goblins playing in the NFL. And the goons and the goo goblins he's talking about playing in the NFL, is he talking about my man, Lawrence Taylor? This right here.
His freakish athleticism and sheer relentlessness made him a new kind of linebacker, one the league had never seen and could rarely stop.
The traditional ways of pass protecting, assigning a back to the outside linebacker, proved to be not applicable when he got into football because he was a mismatch on most backs, if not all.
There's Lawrence Taylor with one man trying to block him. It can't happen. One man cannot block Lawrence Taylor.
In the running game, they had to come up with some schemes where they could keep him from just running behind the line of scrimmage and chasing the plays down. The challenge was to let the talent flourish without breaking down the structure.
So this was my man talking about. So I'd say again, I get me to put together. I get me a team of nothing but goons and goo goblins. It's gonna kill whatever vanilla NFL force they put together, right? Let's just go a little bit further with these vanillas talking about the NFL.
He was descending into the quicksand with that take.
Talking about the NFL.
He was descending into the quicksand with that take. I don't even know where to take it from there. It's newsworthy because it's stunning and it's shocking. I don't think that.
Well, yes, I'll take it.
I just don't think that the NFL wants its product presented that way. I have a feeling somebody from 345 Park Avenue is making a phone.
And it's funny he uses the word product when it comes to these NFL players. And that sort of brings me to the conversation and how I'm relating this to criminal justice. There's no secret that individuals who go to prison consider property. They know they're on a plantation. And this is the relationship to it. And as I was those who follow us, support us, like us, know that I spent some time in the joint. And this brings my relevancy to the conversation. I watch guys in the joint play football. And football in the joint, they have leagues individuals play on. And I've seen some of the best football games in the joint, right? Guys playing for nothing but reputation, to go to the championship, to brag about it, to get their names in the paper. They play like they had a contract. So I'm gonna double down and say I could put together any group of convicts, not any, but individuals who play football, who are athletic, to play against any professional team. And I guarantee you, that's real good, they'll whoop any motherfucking NFL team's ass. Now these vanilla cats are sitting up here talking about weighing in, conversating about, whatever, we should not. But I'm saying like this, joint, I never watched no football. I was against that shit. Because my attitude was like, why are you watching these motherfuckers who don't support you? And even if they have somebody incarcerated, the individual they have incarcerated, they're supporting them, not you. So what are you doing that? Then I get out to figure out that the stadiums that these cats play in don't hire felons. You know what I'm saying? So they have a understanding that they don't fuck with felons. On the field, off the field, they want you to, you know, when I went to work, my Sunday was like when I worked for the stadium as a temp worker, because that's the only way you can get in, and you got to take those jobs. I took it because I thought it was a benefit, get me out the situation when I was in, because I was in a work release program. So I get out, go do that. I get dressed, white motherfucker get up, get dressed, put on his Vikings uniform, go to the game. I go to the game too. He go to the game, sit in his seat. I go to the game, get a motherfucking mop up his beer he spilled, put the toilet paper up. That's what we shit at. They watching. I mean, cause this is America. This is the American dream. Got a white motherfucker sitting in the seats, rooting for the game, buying hot dogs for his kids, all that. Vikings win, and I'm sitting up there being told what to do, because as a temp worker at those stadiums, the one at least when I work at U.S. Bank Stadium, calling you out, U.S. Bank Stadium. TCF Stadium wouldn't even let you come up into their facilities. I mean, not TCF, but Target stadiums wouldn't even let you come into their stadiums. But they would send you home as a temp worker if you got water. If you got water from the concession stand. And I'm in these rooms, Mystic Lakes rooms, these where people pay for these memberships, and they come in. All the food is free. All the drinks are free. All the cookies and candies are free. Everything's free in that room, except for the alcohol. And we're told before we go upstairs to those rooms to clean after these white motherfuckers, because they mainly going to these games, is that if we catch you in line, even getting a cup of water, we gonna send you home. This is SAF your prison lawyer. It's SAF your prison lawyer. So what I want to say is that I really didn't want to watch those games because, like I say, they too vanilla to start with. What I'm getting at, or where I'm going, is that let's just backtrack for just a second and check out those 1986, 87 hurricanes under Jimmy Johnson, just to give you some historical understanding of what I'm talking about goons and goo goblins, and Jimmy not giving a fuck, JJ not giving a fuck who played on his team, long as he was winning. That's my man. You know what I'm saying? So let's just check them out. Those championship years of the Miami Hurricanes. See what they was all about. Who's playing on those teams? Let's run this.
Loaded on defense. I think the concern for 87 was the offense, particularly the offensive line, which was decimated by seniors graduating.
And we lost, like I said, so much of a nucleus.
We were a good team. We didn't have as many athletes as that 86 team, but I knew we were still very competitive.
Spend half the summer training, working together as a unit. Sometimes we have 30 guys going up to the hill, running and working out. Nobody trained harder than us. Nobody conditioned harder than us.
We practiced so hard, man. You guys just have no idea how hard our practices were because our coaches wanted perfection.
As a freshman, just being on the scout team, I mean, I didn't travel. I didn't participate in any of the stuff as far as the away games, but the intensity in practice was it was second to none because Coach Johnson wanted to get that elusive national championship.
We weren't cocky, but we were confident. Preparation breeds confidence.
I didn't mind them being cocky. I didn't mind them celebrating. I didn't allow them to have penalties. I didn't allow them to have a 15-yard penalty because they knew if that happened, then they were going to catch my wrath.
Discipline is not saying don't enjoy the victory after you have bust your butt all week. No one worked us like Coach Johnson. No one worked like we worked on that practice field.
There's a misconception about swagger. Some people like to look at swagger as being overconfident, not respecting your opponents in the game. But swagger is obtained from Sunday to Friday.
You just wanted to make sure your guys were taking part and doing the right things to get us to win a ball.
We had a 15-yard route. It was a 15-yard route. That's the discipline that we showed. If you had to get that block, you got that block. It was a commitment. Each man, a promise made, each man, one to the other. I will get my job done today. That's discipline.
There was nobody else in the country practicing or going after each other the way we did. So we knew that nobody on Saturday could compete with us.
We had a chance to play and practice every day against the best.
Offensively, we had great receivers with Michael Irvin and Brett Perryman and Brian Blades, good talented senior running backs and Melvin Bratton and Warren Williams. You know, we had a lot of athletes.
You know, convicts playing football, a lot of y'all envision this.
Going easy. Ready? Go!
You know, so I guess people think like that when I'm talking about football, about these individuals and what's going on, and why I think, or that's what they envision, and that's why it's a joke. Like, oh yeah, you feel it's like these convicted felons should be able to play, but if you look at the roster of individuals who were convicted felons who are alleged to have committed crimes, you know, Michael Irvin. Mike was just there. He's a convicted felon. You know what I'm saying? Or he had an allegation of sexual abuse or something to that extent. You understand? We got O.J. Simpson, you know, his situation, right? We got Ray Caruth, his situation, right? You know what I'm saying? We got Lawrence Taylor. I just showed you his fic. He's a beast. He was a beast on that. Lawrence Taylor's on that team. You understand? You know, we got Lawrence Taylor playing on that team. You know, so you know, we got Thomas Hollywood Henderson. You know, a beast. You know what I'm saying? We got again, I went Michael Vick already. I went Michael Irvin already on that team. But these cats believe, you know, let's go a little bit further with what they're talking about. And
if they didn't already yesterday to Bristol to explain their concern about the way Bart Scott characterized the players in the league. I think he's, you know, again, Bart's a colorful guy. I know Bart a little bit. I mean, he's very, you know, in touch with football and been on some great teams and knows the game. I think he was having a little fun with the subject, trying to make a point a little here. You know, a point that I don't think is, you know, again, the league might not want it said, but I don't think it's like that crazy in the NFL world. And again, hear me out. Not that teams want guys. They don't want a bunch of Boy Scouts.
Maybe the team should want individuals with felonies, right? Maybe they should want people with felonies, because what he's basically gonna say is they don't want people to rock. They want cheerleaders, rah guys. But what they don't understand, that switch can't be turned on and turned off. If you on 90 on Sunday or Thursday or Monday, you're a kind of guy that's gonna be on 90 every time I run into you. This is not a game. You know, he's not playing. He's for real. He's intense across all. He's on 10 on everything he does in life. So you can't be like, you know, well, we just want a guy who's rubbing up shoulders and getting the guys riled up. Some fucking cheerleader. That's what I mean by vanilla. It's vanilla ass, bullshit ass, vanilla ass bullshit. They don't want criminals in football. You know what I'm saying? But some of the best highlights they got in football came from a motherfucker that was a criminal. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta be a few guys in the locker room with some edge to them. There's gotta be. There is. And I think that is standard protocol, you know, with a lot of football teams. You know, I've even heard stories of Belichick talking about that. That's why, you know, again, Randy Moss, Aqib Talib, love those type of guys because they brought an energy and a street cred to the locker room.
Yeah, Randy Moss with all his child support issues. You know, and that's whole nother story. Irvin was arrested on multiple drug possession charges during and after his career, accused of sexual assault. So it was this accusation. Remember for causing the ability, because this ability to play football isn't something that you're going to find individuals who are, like he says, these big rah-rah guys, these guys who fake, right?
They don't have felonies. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying there was something about them, an edge that you can bring to the locker room. I was on teams with plenty of personalities like that, you know, and I think that's the point he's trying to make. You know, you got a team that's.
And I don't think that's the point he's trying to make. I think he made his point. I think he said, because he knows what he said, and what he says is true. But it's not what I'm saying is true. I mean, come on. What about the individuals like the great Mike Vick? You know, felon. You know what I'm saying? I think the felony killed his career. You know what I'm saying? And they maybe purposely killed his career. How many records would he have broke if they didn't lock him up?
It's a 3rd down and 2 at the 37. Vick on the option. He's got room. He breaks the tackle. Can anybody get him? He's cutting back against the grain. I think it's lights out. Michael Vick again takes it to the house. 63 yards for the touchdown. Michael Vick has done since he came to Virginia Tech. You cannot miss a tackle. Right there. Missed tackle results in a touchdown when you've got a quarterback that runs a 4.25 40. And the one thing about it, Frank Beamer said yesterday, you know what? Our number 2 quarterback's pretty good. He says, but there aren't any number 1s like ours. So 35 points here in the second quarter. Put together by his 2 teams. Wide open. Johnson downfield 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Virginia Tech. Michael Vick does it again. 60 yards on the TD pass. Let's go. Able to keep his balance. He's got open field. It's dangerous. Going back against the field. Big play for Michael Vick. It's coming.
It's just got, you know, too many good guys and yes sir, no sir, and everything that way. Yeah, at some point things get ugly on a football field, and you need one guy that's out there going, "We got to be crazy and get crazy."
Maybe putting licorice in your nose. We're gonna get crazy, guys. Let's just drink a bunch of pop. I mean, come on, man. Keep it real, man. What you're trying to make something into something that it's not, and trying to create these lies. You know. So again, I say I can assemble a team of convicts, and I guarantee you, whatever team you put together, they're gonna smash them. You know. Let's keep it going. Warren Sharp. What?
The Rattlers that day. Good bootleg drop for Brown, but he's not going to get away as the pursuit by Miami will drop him down, and that's going to be Warren Sapp, number 76, Sapp, 6'3", 280, just a freshman redshirt, comes in to make the stop for Miami. They thought he was going to play a lot, and they're really happy about that.
They're expecting big things from him. As you see here, Keith Brown gets back in the pocket, feels a little pressure, and here comes Sapp.
Boom.
And here comes Sapp, who is a converted tight end.
Brown with the lone running back. He keeps it. Caught for the high and dropped. Trail 31-0, but have a chance to score here in the 4th. And there's the ball on the ground again. Nobody sees it for the moment. It's
linebackers. This guy is a true freshman, not a redshirt freshman. He just got there, playing in his first football game and playing well. They called the linebacker blitz. See, the pressure is, he jumps. Here, look at the athletic ability of this guy.
On the Miami 49-yard line, 1st and 17 for Tech. Ray Lewis wrapping up Wayne Thomas.
Pac-Man. 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 Adam Jones. Pac-Man. Adam Jones. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. These are the individuals I'm telling you. This is what I'm saying. These are the individuals I'm telling you that make the NFL live. That. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, come on, man. So you're trying to tell me that these individuals not being in the NFL, and you got all these vanilla shakes up in there, is gonna do something. I'm saying bring these convicted felons along with my other convicted felons. You know what I'm saying? And that's the NFL right there. You know what I'm saying? So pro sports trying to whiten it up, vanilla it up. You know what I'm saying? You lose individuals like a Pac-Man.
It is that kind of guy that's, you know, again, not felonies, but got a little bit of an edge about him that brings it to your football team, and coaches and organizations do like that. And I think that's what Bart was trying to do. Maybe he just went too far. In 2020, Devontae Wyatt, who was the 28th overall pick by the Green Bay Packers, he was charged with misdemeanor criminal trespass after having an argument with a woman he had lived with on and off. He allegedly kicked her door multiple times from the hallway, damaging the door and forcing it open. That's according to the University of Georgia police. Charges were dismissed several months later. So that's what he allegedly did that created the concern that gave Bart Scott the starting point. And I think the more artful way to put it, and I don't know that because Devontae Wyatt, see, I don't know that this take follows from why Devontae Wyatt got in trouble. Just because he got mad and kicked a door doesn't mean that he's one of the guys that's going to set the mentality you're talking about. I think more like Brian Dawkins. Sure. Like you want a guy that is going to prepare the team to go out and engage in an inherently.
So this the only part I really can come find some common ground with these guys. Of course, you don't want a guy who takes the emphasis off the game and puts it on himself because he's a knucklehead, right? You don't want him to distract from the game. But what they fail to connect is the animalistic, the athleticism to another trait that's in line with the individual who may perhaps have a criminality about themselves. Look at Aaron Hernandez in his situation. I mean, I think this is one of the starkest examples is his situation. A great NFL player, was on a championship team that went through the playoffs and won the Super Bowl. Yet still he was around killing people. I mean, how do you justify that? If there's not a felonious element within these individuals, and maybe it's just the whole thought process in itself. A lot of them just imagine it, killing the opponent. It doesn't actually go to physically killing anyone. But my conversation has always been, how much is the NFL, how much is sports in general creating these individuals? You know what I'm saying? Or enabling them to feel as though they might want to act out some of that aggression they had on the field, because it's going to eventually transfer off the field. And what I'm trying to say is that it's not an on and off switch. A lot of these guys are hardwired, and what they do is what they do. You meet them in person, they're energetic, hardwired guys. And it's not a game. They don't play it. They're not acting it out. So these guys might be, because they're vanilla shakes. Of course, they probably don't even understand what's really going on, or what a true athlete at a high level intensity has to be at, and how much is this game fostering that behavior, enabling that behavior, because they know behind the scenes what a player has. So, I say again, I would take convicted felons. I would take a team of convicted felons. I would take the NFL convicted felons and put it against any one of your vanilla teams, and I guarantee it to whoop their ass. So does pro sports? This is a question now. Does pro sports have a legitimate reason to remove convicted felons, other than some type of air they're trying to present? But yet and still, this is modern day slavery. It's all it is high price slavery. Okay? They sign a contract within itself. This is utilized the same way they utilize a contract in criminal procedures, right? This contract's a little bit different because the individual owns the contract, right? They get the millions put in their pockets. While somebody else's benefits off of it, they get more off of it, but they still get a high percentage. And a contract with the slave that goes into an institution of incarceration, his contract is held by the state. So are we talking, what are we talking about? So get in the comment box. Talk to me. Let me know how you feel. Is pro sports too vanilla? Do they need more convicted felons playing? Because I just showed you the highlight reels, and most of these highlight reels are the reasons you watch football. You know what I'm saying? You ain't watching it because some guy's talking about, let's stick Twizzlers in our noses and run out there. Let's go drink a bunch of Red Bulls. Let's go play football. No, man. You know that shit's not happening in those locker rooms. You understand? Jimmy Johnson, great coach. I don't know how many motherfuckers on Jimmy Johnson's squad was even eligible to go to college. But he played their ass, and they played football, and however he did it. You know, and they loved him for it. You know what I'm saying? All you had to go out there, dedicate yourself to the team, and play football and win games. And he was behind you. So, I mean, and I'm not trying to justify that or say that's right or wrong. I'm just saying, realistically, there's certain individuals that understand that there's a certain element of criminality that goes along with this game. And it's not the criminality of stealing things or anything like that. It's just that criminal behavior, the abuse, the fighting, the not caring for the individual on the other side. So how do you can't train that into the individual. Individual comes with that within them. You just harness it into, you know, football, and it's okay as long as he's attacking his opponent, right? It's just a problem when he takes it off the field. It's a problem when he's a felon. He's a convicted felon. But you look at people like Big Ben and his situation, how he was able to not be only alleged to be a sexual abuser. It did a lot with keeping him out of the news. It did a lot with covering up everything he did, right? So how much did that play into them understanding who they're dealing with? Aaron Hernandez, you know, understanding their propensity for violence, Aaron Hernandez, understanding their propensity to sexual violence, alleged Big Ben. But I got a partner who actually works for the NFL, and his situation is this: with those guys, especially the stars, they have security around them. NFL provides security, whether they know it or not. There's someone always on the scene. So, big stars, right? So what they do is they de-escalate and they mitigate any criminal element that they're in to keep them out of the news. So it's not like they don't know these guys have a propensity to violence or doing outlandish shit. A lot of it's being allowed by club owners. Most of it's being covered up, and a lot of it's being circumvented because of security. So I guess it's not that the NFL doesn't know that I'm right, that if I assembled a team of convicted felons, they'll whoop the shit out of them. In fact, they're hiring them. They're just keeping them from they're fortunate enough not to get a criminal conviction because of they fall under the umbrella of the NFL, and they take good care of their slaves, right? So this is SF Moore, your prison lawyer. This is SF Moore, your prison lawyer. This is SF Moore, your prison lawyer. And those who stuck and stayed with me, I thank you. For all my little nieces and nephews walking around with "I got something to say" sweatshirt on, keep supporting us. You know what I'm saying? And I don't need 100 million people. I don't need 100 million people. I just need you supporting me. Support us. It's SAF Mo, your prison lawyer. Shout out to my man Rob B in the middle. There's a lot, there's a little. You know what I'm saying? That's my man. And we're going to keep this coming to you. We got a couple of different hot topics coming up, and I'm hoping to bring that to you sooner than later. And I'm signing off. Peace.